Next, let us look at the example of different taxonomy level under the psychomotor domain. We have 7 levels of taxonomy. Let us look at the first level, which is the perceptions. These are the examples. Relate types of music to particular dance steps. Separate the defective and non-defective sampling. Adjust the heat element to the correct temperature. Based on the example here, you know that all these are related to the perceptions that involve sensory cues, either through observations or through feelings. These are relatively easy under the category of skills. The next level, it will be set. This is related to the readiness to act mentally, emotionally, and physically. Among the examples, comply with the requirement in the, show the correct ways of using the, as long as these are being fulfilled, we know that the students are ready to act accordingly. Next level, it will be guided response. This one requires the students to copy, replicate, or reproduce under proper guidance, instructions, or supervisions. It doesn't require the students to demonstrate high levels of proficiency. Let us look at the examples here. Replicate the test as demonstrated by the instructor. Assemble the device according to the manufacturer's specifications. Reproduce the model of according to, as long as the students demonstrate the ability to copy and to reproduce, even though without good efficiency, and probably after several rounds of trials and errors, it can still be considered under the guided response. The next level, it will be the mechanism. This is the level we are looking for the efficiency and proficiency. It also requires the students to have some levels of confidence. And most likely we are not expecting the relevant tasks done by the students under the hand-to-hand guidance. The students have to demonstrate the relevant skills by themselves. Let us look at the examples here. Use the software of what to model what. Repair a faulty mechanical devices. Now, if you look at the examples in the guided response and the examples in the mechanism, you will see that the guided response emphasizes more on the replications and reproductions. As for the mechanism, it sounds more like applications of certain skill to carry out the task. Now, if you want to make it to be more obvious, you may also state the conditions together with the examples. If you are looking into the effectiveness and proficiency, probably you may set the time durations behind the instructions, such as use the software to model something within a certain period of time. Or if you want to demonstrate the levels of confidence, you may set the conditions behind the instruction, such as repair a faulty mechanical device without supervisions by the instructor. This will make the instructions to more closely resemble the level 4 of psychomotor domain, which is the mechanism. Now the next one, it will be the complex overt response. This one, it will be the highest level of the guided response. Excellent proficiency, minimum redundancy, no wasted effort, automated and spontaneous actions, and highly coordinated performance. Let us look at some examples of this. Operate what quickly and accurately. Display competence when doing what. To better differentiate this from the mechanism, you may incorporate the expectations in terms of the quality output. Quickly, accurately, habitually, demonstrate mastery, and so on so forth. Obviously, the requirement here, it will be higher than the mechanism. Next, it will be the adaptations. Starting from this level here, there will be inputs from the students. It is custom-made to fulfill certain conditions. Knowing the existing guided response have some limitations. Now, in order to break through it, some modifications shall be imposed. Now, these modifications leads to innovations to the motor skill in order to accomplish certain tasks. Now, if you want to separate the adaptations from the originations, you may consider the modifications are relatively minor as compared to the overall guided response. We are talking about less than 50% modifications. Let us look at the examples here. Respond effectively to unexpected experience. This example here shows that it is custom-made to certain situations. Since this is unexpected, it is likely that any guided response here, even though it is highly effective, there may be limitations or may totally be not applicable. This brings to the needs of modifying the existing guided response. Next, modify instructions to meet the needs of the learner. This highlights the modification part. Another one, perform a task with a machine that is not originally intended to. By looking at this example here, you know that there is a machine, and initially this machine is not intended to produce certain thing, which is the task here. Now, when the machine is not intended to produce the relevant task, theoretically the machine cannot be used to produce that. This comes to the needs of modifying the machine so that it is able to produce the relevant tasks. Now, the key here, it will be the modifications from something which is available, and this can be considered under the adaptations. Next one, it will be the originations. This will be the highest level under the psychomotor domain. This shall involve creating custom-made something, and there are elements of creativity. Now, if you want to separate the originations from the adaptations, we are looking at a majority of the process are brand new. Let us look at the examples here. Construct a new theory. Now, you have to be very careful with this statement here. If the emphasis is on the theory here, this shall be categorized under the cognitive domain. Now, constructing a new theory, it should theoretically be under C6 of the cognitive domain. If it is categorized under the psychomotor domain, now we are looking into the techniques and skills used to construct the theory. In this case, the emphasis is not the new theory. It is the process going through in producing the new theory. Since the relevant theory is new, whatever process that the students goes through shall theoretically be new as well. And because of this, there are elements of creating, custom-made, and creativity. The relevant skills and process is considered under the originations. Next, develop a new and comprehensive training program and design an effective way to do something. These two examples are clearer, reflecting the originations. This one is referring to the training program, and this one is referring to a method. They are well classified under the psychomotor domain.